and welcome to Have a Chat. You're going to notice we have some extra wonderful guests here with us today. My name is Manager Arsenault, and I'm going to be your host today with the ever-fabulous Adam Lorden. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Veronique. Yes, I am not Audrey, I am not Judy,
No.
but I am Adam Lorden, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm looking forward to a fun hour.
Well, thanks for pitch hitting today, and we have some extra guests that we're thinking are pretty cute.
Yes, this is so exciting. We've got the SPCA here today.
I know. Looking forward to it.
And of course, they brought along a few of our furry friends here.
This is Inky.
This is Inky.
And we have Dodo that's going to be visiting in a little while, but Dodo actually is exploring the studio currently.
Yes.
So we're not sure what Inky's going to do in the next few minutes,
wild.
but we'll see.
And of course, we have Camp Sheldrake here as well.
We do. We're very excited. We have lots of great guests today and a very full hour. But we'll kick it off with our quote of the day. And I have the quote of the day today, and it's from Mark Twain. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones that you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover.
I like that.
Well, you know, it's hard when you, it's hard. Oh, look at you. Go, Inky, go. It's hard it's hard to try new things and to explore, but, you know, I think sometimes you just have to head away from shore.
You know, it's so important, and there can be really no reward in life without risk, right? And I think sometimes you've got to take that risk and you've got to take that leap, and I wholeheartedly agree. Like, even in my life so far, it's not the things that you've tried and maybe even failed in, and God knows I've failed in a few things, but
you and me both, Adam.
It's the things that you don't do, right? And you always wonder. And for me, you know, when I was first moving to Toronto and I decided you know, I had always dreamed of working in television, actually, fitting to tell the story here.
Right?
And, you know, I got there and I thought, wait a minute, I could do this as a career. And I had the opportunity present itself to go back to TV school to take a writing and producing course. And I thought, if I don't do this, I will always wonder for the rest of my life what would have happened.
Yep.
So I couldn't have that regret. And it, you know, it's worked out.
Yeah, and it's much the same for myself, actually. And moving home 10 years ago was my big leap of faith, I guess we'll say, because I decided I wanted to come home in 2006 and had no job, I really had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew that I wanted a certain life, and I knew that I wanted to feel like I was contributing somewhere, and so I've managed to do that since I moved home, and had some really incredible once-in-a-lifetime experiences since I came home, and wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't thought about leaving shore.
Well, and home is home, right? And
Yes.
I've had a wonderful experience in Toronto, and I've had the fortune to travel across the country for work, but only home is home, and it's
right.
been, you know, I guess life brought me home, something I might not have expected, but you know, just to get involved in the community and all the wonderful people that you know, and that sense of pride and community and really contributing towards bettering your home is something that, you know, I know that we both do a lot of work in those regards, and
For sure.
and it just maybe is more fulfilling to do it where it's home.
Yeah, and it's in a smaller community like ours too, so that you can honestly feel the impact of getting up every day and doing something, that you're loving or that you think will benefit the surrounding area. So, anyway, Inky, you're really, okay, sure, that's a great place. So one of the things that brought you home, of course, was your mom. Mm-hmm. So tell us about what's coming up in a couple of weekends.
Well, we are excited to announce, and we've, last year we did this beautiful event in honor of my mom, and also as a service to the community in Mom's memory, which, if there's someone else who was extremely involved in the community and really just did it for the right reasons and loved Miramichi and the people, it was my mom. And so last year we started the Nancy Lorden Community Barbecue, which is a huge success. And the idea is everything's free, and you can make donations for the Nancy Lorden Scholarship Fund, but the event itself is based on just doing something wonderful for the community. And so, if you're in a position with your family where money's tight or something, doesn't matter. We don't want a donation. We just want you to come down and have a great time with your family. So we're doing it again, and this year we're going to be doing it on Saturday, July 23rd, which is coming up just under 2 weeks from now. It's going to be from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Waterford Green in downtown Chatham. So last year we were at Middle Island.
Yes,
this
great location.
Great location.
Yep.
And this year we're trying out downtown on the waterfront. We're hoping, being downtown, it'll be a little more accessible for some people, and parking won't be as much of a challenge. And, even if you happen to be downtown and you hear the music or you hear the excitement, then you'll come down. So, we've got a lot of the favorites from last year are back. The firefighters are coming again to work the barbecue, which is free.
Wonderful.
They're going to be bringing fire trucks. Of course, we've got the washer toss, which was one of Mom's favorites. Our memory wall, games and face painting and bouncy castles for the kids. Musical entertainment, live entertainment all afternoon from 1 to 4. Inky is so excited.
He is. He's giving you some love.
He's going to be there. So it's just going to be a wonderful day. And we time it every summer around my brother. My sister goes to school in Fredericton. I'm here, of course, and my brother lives out west. So
Right.
Andrew's coming home this weekend, and of course he's bringing his 3-year-old son Noah.
Amazing.
Noah was, of course, Mom's favorite.
Yes.
And so we think it's really special to do that when everyone's here, and especially this year to have Noah. He's our guest of honor this year. So
Looking forward to it. And I loved the memory wall last year.
Yes.
Being able to write a few words that reminded me so much of your mom. And, I loved everything. I mean, we had a great time last year, and the weather wasn't fantastic, but I mean, so many people came out nonetheless.
Well, that's it. And we'll hope for better weather this year. And the memory wall, what's really cool about it or neat is that it's the same wall. So we're going to bring it back so people can see the memories that people shared last year and add to them. So the idea is every year we'll just keep adding to this memory wall. And, Mom is someone that, who's, for me, I carry her with me every day, and she guides a lot of what I do now on council and in the community. And I know that she was and still is a source of strength for a lot of people.
Yeah, of course.
So it's something that we're all looking forward to, and I hope everybody out there can come join us.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're looking forward to it for sure. So very busy weekend here on the river, as it always is.
As it always
is. So a few hundred people traveled from all over the country, actually, to come for the 75th RCAF reunion on the former base in Chatham, and you were able to attend.
Yes, I actually had the honor and the pleasure of attending on behalf of the city, and the city sponsored their opening night, the Friday evening sort of welcome meet and greet event. All of it took place out at one of the old hangars.
I can't imagine.
And honestly, you walked in, and it was just this. It was so well done. It was beautifully decorated. They had the F-18 fighter jet flew in from Ottawa, I believe. They had a lot of the other planes were out there on just beautiful displays, and you just walked in and stage set up for the band. It was beautiful, and I was blown away.
Yep.
And hundreds of people, most of them now living out of town, right? A lot of these folks, of course, lived here in the glory days. And,
if you're wondering what those noises are, every now and again, we have 2 kittens here on set today, and we're so excited to have them both, but every now and again they find something new to play with. And they happen to be behind us typically when they're playing with it. So every now and again you'll hear a little crash or a little bang. Don't worry, everybody's fine.
That's not us.
All good. Yeah, we haven't fallen off the chair. There's no delay. We haven't fallen off the chair. We're good.
Well, thank you. And so it was just a beautiful event, and lots of these folks came into town. The reminiscing, General Paul Manson was the keynote speaker on Saturday night at their big banquet, and of course he was the base commander here at CFB Chatham for a number of years, and then he went on to be chief of defense of the entire, I believe, military.
Yeah, isn't that amazing, eh?
So, which is great.
Yeah.
And just a great time.
Yeah, my dad was there. Dad's retired RCAF, so he had a great time. He got to see a lot of people that he hadn't seen in many years, many. But truly, he loved every part of it. He said, the organization that was done was fantastic. Mm-hmm. The food was amazing, and I believe it was the Miramichi Golf and Country Club that catered. So
that's right.
Like he said, truly everything. The service was fantastic. So he really had a great time, and he said it was so nice to see so many people from the city support as well, because I know a lot of the council went with you, and just enjoy, and he loved it.
Well, we're big cheerleaders for these kind of events.
Definitely.
And we love to see them happening. We love when people in the community take them on. And speaking to a lot of the folks that were there on the weekend, most of the people I spoke to came from all over Canada and elsewhere, and they all said they were going to be staying for a few days after the reunion, for up to a week, most of them. So it's great for the city as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, and that's what, people don't understand oftentimes when these things happen in our city, the economic spin-off that happens to our local businesses and, and even just our surrounding region, because they travel outside of the city as well, which is fantastic. So it was nice to see, and hats off to, executive chef from Owen Gibson from the Miramichi Golf and Country Club, because I know he watches the show. So
yes.
we're going to say what a great job he did, because I heard so many people say.
And then, the event we sponsor just happened to be their steak and lobster cook-off.
Good.
So well done.
Yeah.
Lobsters,
and I know that Kevin Anderson with the New Brunswick Aviation Museum was the organizer of the event, and great job.
Yeah, I mean, well done, Kevin. Kevin, I met Kevin shortly after I was elected last year, because he was approaching the council, and he put a lot of hard work and blood, sweat, and tears and passion into this, and I have to say congratulations, Kevin, and the entire organizing committee and all the volunteers, because it was really well done. Yeah,
no, for sure. So we're going to talk. We're going to call it the elephant in the room, and the thing that I'm going to say it this way: I'm getting tired of talking about, because it seems to be happening so often, and the multiple shootings that happened last week in the U.S. You and I both have talked about these kinds of things before, and we both have some pretty strong opinions about them, and rightly so, I think. But we'll talk about, Alton Sterling was shot and killed, 37-year-old from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and it was an altercation between he and the police department. Philandro Castile, 32 years old, was shot and killed in Minnesota at a traffic stop. And what makes that one, those two incidents really kind of bone-chilling, is the fact that there's a video of both. There's a witness video of the shooting with Alton Sterling, and Philandro Castile, his girlfriend, filmed the moments after he was shot on a Facebook Live video feed. So those two things prompted many protest marches last week. Black Lives Matter, of course, was a focus last week. And then in Dallas, at a Black Lives Matter protest, someone shot and killed, a sniper shot and killed 5 police officers and wounded another 6, I believe. It's just mind-boggling to me, and it's guns aren't the issue, it's our access to guns that are the issue. There's no question that a gun is not firing itself, but I struggle to understand why someone needs access to automatic rifles. I struggle to understand why people need access. Not hunting is a sport. I understand it's not my thing, and I've said this before. I understand it. Because people love to do it, just like I love to go walking in nature, right? So I mean, I really understand that part, but I don't understand why someone needs an assault rifle or whatever it may be.
Well, I think like you said, we could go on and on about this, and the issues that the U.S. is facing, and I mean, it makes me thankful every day that I'm a Canadian, quite honestly. But you look at the race relations and the challenges there. Is one thing.
Yep.
The one thing, which we'll maybe address in a moment, the one thing that I keep coming back to, as you mentioned, is the guns and the access. And whether it's these incidences just a few weeks ago, with the shootings in Orlando, which really hit home for me on a personal level as well. And, I just don't understand how somebody can make the argument that it is their God-given right to have access to a semi-automatic.
I agree with you.
And we're not, so like taking the gun discussion incrementally, if we want to put aside, rifles or hunting guns, if we want to put aside handguns, which I would argue people shouldn't have access to either, but we won't. If we could just get the U.S. to have a conversation about these semi-automatic rifles, I just don't understand how you can really make that argument that effectively a war machine is something that it's your right to have.
That you and I should have it as regular citizens on the street.
And to be able to bring it with you to the park, to the movie theater, to the grocery store. This is insane. And, I think it unfortunately comes back to following the money and the NRA and the politicians down there who are being bought by the gun lobby. But, every time you see one of these, it just breaks my heart. There are real challenges, and I don't know what it's going to take. I remember President Obama saying, after Sandy Hook, you
Yeah.
know, after somebody goes up and shoots up an elementary school.
Yeah.
If that is not a call to action, what is?
Well, and that's the thing, right? And we looked at just after the Orlando shooting, they had in the States 7 mass shootings in 7 days. You know, and someone had made the reference to the statistics that we have had 8 mass shootings in the last 20 years in Canada. But I think, you know, an underlying symptom, and of course the first 2 shootings involve police officers, and I think an underlying symptom, of course, is the race relations, you know, around the world right now. Although it seems to be a much deeper problem in the States, but there are significant challenges, and you know, the Black Lives Matter movement, from what I understand, and you know, I don't have a deep understanding of it, but it's truly just about, it's not that all lives don't matter or police officer lives don't matter, but it's that there seems to be a fundamental problem right now in the States, and race relations are at an all-time low as far as, you know, being able to function together in a cohesive and progressive way. And so those 2 shootings then prompted the protest, which then prompted this sniper, a military trained sniper, to open fire, you know, and kill 5 police officers who, you know, by all accounts and were just trying to do their job and were great people.
Well, you know, Trevor Noah did a great piece on The Daily Show after this happened, and took over The Daily Show from Jon Stewart. And the crux of what he was saying is that, you know, the people who take these incidents and try to create division and play sides against each other, you know, I can, as a logical-minded person, or I think I'm a fairly logical-minded person, you know, I can be supportive and understand. I do support the Black Lives Matter movement. Black lives do matter, and you know, the all lives matter thing is a bit absurd. Of course, all lives matter, but other folks in particular, white people like us, haven't been marginalized for the last 200 years.
That's exactly
so it's insane, first of all. But you know, I can support the idea of equality, and I can also support the idea of police in principle, but at the same time being frustrated by police who take advantage of their position and who use it to indulge maybe their internalized hate. So, you know, I actually have a good friend of mine, a university roommate, who is a police officer in Ontario now, and anytime something like this happens, we always touch base, and we, you know, even when we have issues, when we, you know, at the city, we discussing the tasers a while back, and we discussed those things too. And you know, it's important for me to get the perspective from him. And you know, he was really upset by this because it inflames a lot of the rhetoric. And you know, there are most people in uniform. You know, the service that they put. You know, putting the service first above themselves is extremely commendable. Are there bad apples?
Of course.
Yes.
But there are anywhere.
And there are everywhere, right? But we can't let these bad apples who are going out and shooting people cloud our judgment to everybody who's out there who's well-intended. And that goes on all sides, you know, and I know that, you know, these kind of moments are extra sensitive, but at the end of the day, you know, we need to be a society that embraces diversity.
So we're going to go to break now, and we'll see you back in a couple minutes with the SPCA. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. Adam and I had so much to say, we ran out of time in our first segment, but that's okay, we'll come back.
Yeah, we'll get it.
We'll come back. So I made a little oof. I made a little oof. So actually our next guest is Gordon Gear from Camp Sheldrake, and we're so pleased to have you today, Gordon.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. And we're all excited to find out what's going on with the camp. You know, tell us a little. So we're going to start off, though. Tell us a little bit about you.
About me, well, I'm a third-year law student at Dal, and so I like to spend my summers kind of out of the office, away from anything suit-related. So
understandable.
Any chance I can get to slap on a tie-dye shirt and dye my hair blue and go have fun with kids, that's generally what I like to do.
Good for you. I remember you guys from the Canada Day Parade.
Yes.
That was one hot day.
Yeah, it was. It was very hot. I got really sunburned.
I'm sure you did.
Tie-dye is a great way to get noticed.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Now, did you match the hair before or after you got the job?
After the job.
Okay.
After the job, yeah. I had to wait until I was out of the house for a little bit before I could do something this crazy.
Yeah, I can understand.
Now, Gordon, I'm curious. I know this is, and full disclosure, I'm actually on the board of directors of Camp Sheldrake, so I know Gordon a little bit, but and I know this is Gordon's 5th summer with the camp in different roles. Mm-hmm. So, Gordon, I want to ask, like, what is it about camp that keeps you coming back?
Well, it's just so rewarding we get a lot of kids who come from not such great homes, or kids that don't really go outside and play. So it's so great to see kids, be away from their homes and have fun and get to do things that they normally don't get to do, like canoeing and rock climbing. Like, that's not stuff you have in your backyard, right? So just the smile on the kid's face when they get to do something new is really what keeps me coming back.
You don't have rock climbing in your backyard?
No. I wish.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the programs and stuff. What happens at camp?
So we're a residential camp, so which means the kids stay overnight. They come on Sunday and leave on Friday. We do all kinds of things. Like I mentioned, we have canoeing, rock climbing, rappelling, zip lining, archery.
Holy cow.
And we just got a bouncy castle, so there's lots of things to do. And then once a week we run a theme day. From wake up to bedtime is, so this week coming is 007 day, so we'll have some spies visiting camp. I know that there's a laser obstacle course for training.
Holy cow.
So we put a lot of work into making each week unique, so that campers that have the opportunity to come back more than once a summer get a different experience entirely.
Wow. So how many campers on average do you get per week?
On average, I would say around 30.
Okay.
We can hold up to 40. We're staffed for 40. So it'd be really nice if we could get that 40, but it's expensive. But we do have funding available for campers who can't quite afford the price of camp. So yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
So basically that means, if you're sitting there at home and you're thinking this would be a wonderful experience for my child or my grandchild, but money's a little tight for us, just reach out to the camp, because we have these wonderful programs that we want to find a way to give those kids this experience. In some ways, those kids need this experience more.
Yeah.
And so, contact the camp in Gordon. You can go to campsheldrake.ca, or you can, there's a phone number, Gordon, I'm sure, as well, that people can call.
Yeah, so absolutely. They can give us a call at 622-8907, and you can speak to myself or Jordan McAvoy. And we'll be able to help you out with funding and stuff like that.
We want every kid to go to camp.
Yeah, absolutely.
And talking about new things at camp, I know you mentioned the bouncy castle's new. We've got to talk about that zip line.
I know.
Tell me about that zip line, because I heard a little bit about it a couple weeks ago, so I'm kind of really interested in this.
So we have a brand new 160-foot zip line.
160 feet.
Yeah. It starts from the top of our rock wall, which is 50 feet in the air, and takes you through the woods. It's a zip line without a brake, so that actually means when you go on it, you go out and then you come backwards, because there's no way to stop until you're in the middle. And so
Goodness.
Yeah, it's
I don't know how I would feel about that, doing that, but that's okay.
No, it's lots of fun. The kids love it. Every kid that
Have you tried it?
I have tried it. So it's safe.
Really? Maybe. Well, you know what? I'll talk Stacy into following me down there. Maybe I'll try the zip line. We'll get video of that.
I think we'd all love to see that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Absolutely. No, it's wonderful, and like I said, it's something new for the kids that have been coming for years and years. So we're trying to freshen things up for them.
Wow. And so then you just got a bouncy castle, you said?
Yeah. So
those are always fun.
Yeah. Big Brothers Big Sisters actually donated it to us, and we're very grateful for that. But all ages love it, even the staff. The first time we blew it up, we were probably in there for about 30 minutes just bouncing around, enjoying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I left to come to the station today, the kids were actually bouncing in it. So they love it. Yeah.
How many staff do you have on average?
We have 9 full-time staff that works with the kids, and then we have Joan, who works in the office, and we have some kitchen staff and maintenance staff as well. Yep.
So pretty extensive operation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we like to keep our ratio pretty tight. A 1 to 5 is what we aim for.
Wow.
So yeah,
Fantastic.
Now, Gordon, depending, I know, there are different camps running all through the summer, and they're for all different age groups as well, right? So what are the, how young or old can you be to attend camp? Maybe just tell us about the different age tiers.
Yeah, so we have Tadpole, which runs from 6 years old to 10 years old.
I love the name.
It's more of an introduction week to camp. It's a little bit shorter than a normal week.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm just going to stop you there. Do you find kids get homesick?
Oh, every week. But, our number one policy is we want all the kids to stay. So we work really hard with the homesick kids to make sure that they enjoy themselves and stay the whole week. So it's more of an intro week for camp. And then after that, we have Child Adventure, which is from 8 until 11. And that's, again, the full week. And we aim our programs that week that are more towards their age group. Like we have a Finding Dory theme day coming up and stuff like that. And then we have Teen Challenge, which is who is at camp right now, and that's from 12 until 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then we have our Leaders in Training program, which is split up into A and B. If you do A, B, you can come back and be a junior counselor, and that's from 15 to 17. And it's more aimed at leadership skills, communication skills, as well as dispute resolution and stuff like that.
I had no idea.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And I think one of the things we should touch on, Gordon. Of course, the camp is a Catholic camp.
Yes.
But it's not necessarily it's not a preachy camp, and
No,
it's
not at all.
and it's not exclusive. It's inclusive, and really we focus on those themes of social justice.
Absolutely.
In the world. And I'd like you to touch a little bit more on that, because that's really a universal value system.
Right.
And so we don't want people to think that the camp is only for Catholic people.
Right.
The camp is for everybody. And tell us a bit more about that.
Right. So, of course, our name is Camp Sheldrake, and we're named after Sheldrake Island. And the reason why we went with that name was because we really wanted to model our camp programs after the nuns who worked on Sheldrake Island with the lepers. And so we wanted to push through their theme of social justice, caring for others, caring for the environment. And so, like Adam was saying, although we're Catholic, we accept everyone, and we really base our programs on focusing on what's happening now in the world and talking about what needs to change in our world to make it a better place.
So, so if I have a child and I decide that I want them to go to camp, how much notice do you need? How do I get them enrolled? What do I do?
Absolutely. So this summer we're still accepting for all our camps,
Okay.
and so you can either give us a call or message us on Facebook, send us an email, check out our website. You can register it online. Mail in an application.
Pretty handy.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's pretty handy.
there's lots of ways to get in contact with us. And as far as notice, I had a girl show up yesterday just at our door, and
Really?
we took her. So, earlier the better to make sure that you get the week that you want.
Yep.
But we're always accepting.
Okay. Wonder. And a couple of years ago, I think you put in a new kitchen, and you were starting a new program with.
Yeah.
Do you teach the kids to cook, or?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's a real
So-
focus on healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
eating
so
as
we
well,
actually follow, we have a mango menu at camp,
Oh.
but it's kid friendly, so we want to make sure that the kids are getting fed and,
Enough energy to keep
enough
running
energy
around.
to keep them
Of course.
going, of course. And the program that you were talking about is called Sheldrake Chefs, and so twice a week we take them over to the parish center into their kitchen, and we bake muffins for breakfast the next day, and then the next day we cook either chili or turkey chowder for supper. So
Wow.
it really teaches them some good life skills.
I want to come visit that day.
I know. Anytime.
Anytime.
They probably
Delicious
probably are better chefs than I am. I will admit to that. But no, it sounds fantastic. I love the idea of. I didn't go to camp as a child, although when we were living out in BC, our school sent us to camp for 4 days every year. So that was my only camp going away for camp experience. But I love the idea of being able. A lot of kids being able to get together, get outside, get active. Check out nature. I mean, I kissed a slug once because a boy flung it at me and it landed right there. I'm like, but I remember it was a good time, right?
Yeah,
It was a good time.
And that camp experience is something that kids carry with them,
Yeah.
like throughout their whole lives.
Absolutely.
Kids remember those things, and it keeps them, coming back to you potentially as counselors and now as a director in Gordon's case, and that it's a real family mentality, I think. And
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to make sure we mention as well is in talking about all the things to do, like if you've not been to the camp, you've got to see it. It's right on the water. There's a
beautiful.
private beach. There's
Wow.
canoeing. So there's a lot of fun to be had on the river as well.
There's something for everyone, right?
Absolutely. And even once a week, just to shout out McDonald's Farm, they let us come over. We canoe across the Bartyville River, and we take all the kids over, get a historic tour, go on a horse ride, get some cookies and lemonade that they make for us. It's
Wow.
great. So there really is and something for everyone, really.
Isn't that fantastic? Actually, a shout out to McDonald Farm today. They had a new calf born
Really?
Yeah, I was
Really?
checking it out. Well, I was on Facebook this morning, so it must be true. But I was checking it out, and I thought, isn't that cool? But yeah, they I think it was this morning or yesterday. They had a new.
Well, I want to go to camp on Canoe and Cookie Day.
Yeah,
That's what
Okay, well, maybe we'll coordinate. Well, since it's every week, though, Adam, we can go like multiple times.
Multiple times. Yes,
That's
right.
Yeah, I think this
Enough
is
to
a
keep us
fantastic
busy.
idea.
Gordon, I don't know. We should talk about too. As with most nonprofits in the community, fundraising is an important piece of what
Absolutely.
keeps Camp Sheldrake going.
How do we help you?
Absolutely. So like Adam was saying, we are a nonprofit, and we like to sponsor kids and have as much money as possible to give them that experience. So our big fundraiser every year is the Duck Race, and we're still currently selling tickets. The Duck Race this year is August 6th.
Okay, so it's still we still got a little ways.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be down at the Bicentennial Park, and so you can buy tickets either by contacting us at camp, or we're all over the community selling tickets. In Walmart, the liquor stores, anywhere where you see the kind of duck costume around, swing by, pick up a ticket. It's only $5.
Yeah.
And all that money goes to sending kids to camp. So
Really? Okay.
yeah, all the profits.
Every year, I've bought a duck ticket every year. But a few years ago, Marianne Rudenberry, who was very involved with the camp, convinced me that I needed to help with the actual duckies in the water. And so we were near Ritchie Wharf, and I was half in and half out, and the duckies weren't swimming the way they were supposed to be swimming. So it was quite the adventure.
Yes.
I think I bled on the rocks because I ran into more rocks than I did into duckies. But anyway, we had a good time. But how long is the duck race has been going on for quite a few years now?
A long time.
And it's quite labor intensive for you guys.
Oh yeah, every year we count out 5,000 rubber ducks, number them, and make sure that everyone gets their duck in the water.
Yep.
Transport those ducks, and then we have to round them all up at the end of the race. So it's a lot of work, but it's for a good cause, so we don't mind doing it.
Well, and we've got to give a shout out to Blake Lynch and Kate Flanagan, who
Yes.
are the board members who chair the Duck Race fundraiser. And further to Gordon's point, we're everywhere in the community selling these tickets. All the staff and all the board members have tickets too. So if anybody's looking for a ticket, you can call me. I've got a stack at home that Blake is forcing, encouraging me to sell. I want to sell them, but people can find me pretty easily. So
Well, it's
if you're
funny
looking
actually.
for a ticket, give me a call.
Kate messaged me this morning, and so we're working on something to get you guys in a spot coming up as well to sell some tickets. So, so other than fundraising with the duck race, is there anything else that the community can do to support you?
Yeah, absolutely. We take donations for if you don't have a child or a grandchild, but still want to give a kid an opportunity to come to camp. You can contact us, and you can actually donate us some money to sponsor a child. And that way, if you don't have someone, you're still giving that experience to someone. Or if you want to come down and volunteer with us or lend a hand, there's always something that needs to be fixed, or we always need help. Just give us a call and we can find something. We can put you to work.
I'm sure.
No kidding.
So I want to make sure that everyone knows how to get a hold of you again. So your Facebook page is?
Just if you Facebook Camp Sheldrake, we'll pop right up. We've got a big old photo of a duck.
Very good. And your phone number?
Is 622-8907.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Is there anything that we've missed? Anything that we need to make sure that everybody knows about the camp?
I mean, I just think it's an amazing experience for kids to have, and again, as with a lot of nonprofits in the community, it's always tight, but it's a service to the community, and I think it's something that is of great value to the community. So, and not just in the community. I mean, if people are watching all over New Brunswick,
Absolutely.
As they are, because you guys are, the premier
Obviously.
television show of Rogers, New Brunswick.
This is why I bring Adam. This is why I get him to come visit.
If you're watching this, in Fredericton or Bathurst or St. John, look up the camp, and we know there are lots of camps around the province, and each of them is a wonderful thing for us to have. But just have a look at Camp Sheldrake and consider them. There are so many good people doing so much great work.
Well, especially with the age ranges. I didn't
Right.
realize that you went all the way up to 17. I didn't realize, which is fantastic. And I love the Future Leaders program and the idea behind that, because, we talk so often about wanting, our kids to, we need our kids to be our next leaders, right? Because, at some point, Adam and I are getting old. Me older than Adam. much older than Adam.
Oh
I'll
my
admit to
God.
that one. But anyway, I'm much older than Adam. But at some point, we need that next generation, and I'm starting to see it already, where we're getting so many youth involved in the Interact clubs and the World Reality Education that we had on a couple of weeks ago, and the She Worthy clothing that we had on last week. These are all young people who are taking a leadership role in our community.
Yep.
And the more kids and young people that we can give those skills to, whether it be through camp or whatever it may be, the better.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
And I thank you for what you're doing, especially if you've come back now year after year. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Must be a great place to be if you're willing to keep coming back.
It's like there's no job better than getting paid to run around with kids and like getting paid to go and swim at the beach every single day. Who doesn't want to do that, right?
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I think that's fantastic. Well, I think, I'm going to talk Stacy into following me with the camera, and we're going to go ziplining.
Well, I'm going to be tuning in for that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if this is a good idea. There isn't much that I won't do, but I'm not sure if me screaming my full head off ziplining through the trees is exactly where I want to go. But no, well, we really thank you for coming on, and we want to thank you definitely for the work that you do. So, make sure that as Gordon said, if you're not having a child of your own that you want to sponsor or send to camp or, have that amazing experience, you want to make sure that you can send a little bit of money your way so that some other kids can go.
Absolutely.
Wow. So we're actually, just for a brief second, we're going to talk about what we love to do in the city and the region.
Speaking of, yes.
Well, actually, we're going to come back to that after our next break. But we want to thank you, Gordon, for all that you're doing. Have a great summer with the kids this
Thank you
summer.
so much.
And don't forget to check out Camp Sheldrake. We'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. We are joined by some very adorable and very rambunctious little critters from the SPCA. Thank you to Gordon from Camp Sheldrake, who joined us for our last segment. Today's show is just flying by, Adam.
Oh my gosh, isn't it?
I know, I don't
You've
know.
got so many special guests today.
I know, I don't even know what to do.
I thought that I was going to be the exciting special guest. And then Inky and Dodo showed up here, and it's hard to compete with kitties.
Well, it's true. And, we were so missing Judy and Audrey and how cute they are that we had to bring in some exactly and as cute kitties. Audrey and Judy had to be out today. They both had something come up that they had to take care of. So we have Dodo and Inky with us. And, of course, Jennifer, they're human. So welcome, Jennifer Arsenault from the SPCA. You are the shelter manager, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, wonderful. And we're going to talk all about these wonderful little fellows today and how we can help you.
All right.
So tell us a little bit about you first.
Well, Jennifer, I'm born and raised on the river. I've been with the Miramichi SPCA for 9 years now.
Holy cow.
I've been the shelter manager for about 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's what I do every day, and I do it in my sleep some days.
Well, loving animals is something that, definitely takes, oh yeah, okay, you go ahead, Dodo, yep, you can have that.
Thirsty.
Yeah. Again, I've probably kissed worse, so I'm, whatever.
You're safe.
Yeah, it's okay, I love you, you're cute. So, loving animals and taking care of animals takes definitely a certain kind of person. So what led you to want to work with the SPCA and all that you do with them?
I've always just had a fascination with animals. I've always wanted to help in any way I could, and back 9 years ago, or even a little bit longer than that, I had found a stray cat in my yard, and she was pregnant, and she had no home, and at the time, I already had enough animals, and I couldn't bring her in, so I brought her to the shelter, and I just walked in, and it just hit me that I could be doing something.
Yeah.
So I just started off by volunteering, and
Wow.
it just progressed from there.
That's amazing. How many, so you and I were talking a little bit before the show. So we have these two cute little fellas here. So this is Inky.
Yeah.
And Inky may not make it back to the shelter because I think Adam wants to take him home.
Yeah, we're sending him home with
I think
Adam.
Evan wants me to take him
Yes,
home.
understandable.
My partner is obsessed with cats.
Yeah.
We have one adopted cat already at home, Bender, adopted from my neighbor.
Okay.
Bender really adopted us, actually. And Evan's been posturing to get another kitty in the house as well.
You
So
definitely need a buddy.
Inky might be a leading candidate here.
So they've both decided that my water cup is the place to
It
be.
is. It must be good stuff.
Yeah, I tell you, well, I hate to break it to you, but it's vodka.
No wonder they've been so
Yes,
crazy.
yeah. Well, I try. So at the shelter right now, you told me that you have 60 cats.
60 cats, some older, some younger. It's just a bad time of year right now.
Wow.
It's known as kitten season.
Okay.
So it's when all the stray kittens are being born, and
So do they get, like, are you finding them? Are they getting dropped off?
Yeah,
How do you get 60 cats?
Members of the community find them in their own backyards, in abandoned buildings, what have you.
Yeah.
They bring them to us, and we do our best. We're a no-kill shelter,
There you go.
so
Right.
we can only hold so many, and we can only help so many. So we bring them in and give them their vaccines and spay and neuter them, and try to find them homes as quick as we can so we can bring in more.
But that must be astoundingly expensive.
It is very expensive. We've noticed in the years that it's progressively gotten better and worse, depending on which way you look at it. We've become more popular, so more people are adopting from the shelter,
Wonderful.
which is so great and is what we strive for. But at the same time, that means that we have empty spots, so we can take in more cats, which ultimately means a higher vet bill.
Right.
In the past 2.5 months, we spent $9,000 on vet bills.
That's incredible.
Wow. Yeah, and Jen, we've sort of seen over the last couple of weeks that the shelters run into a bit of difficulty financially. We've also seen a tremendous outpouring of support for you guys in the community. I mean, the Miramichi Leader had a barbecue. I know this past weekend at Maury's Mini Putt, they had a fundraiser for you guys that raised a couple $1,000s. All this is so wonderful, but the challenges you guys face are real. So how can people help?
Just donations. That's the only way we survive, is depending on community members, businesses, anybody that can offer us any sort of support, whether it be from a $10 donation to thousands of dollars in donations. We rely on everyone. So everybody plays a
What if I
part.
can't give you money, but I have cat food or something?
Absolutely. We'll take any supplies that keep us running. So anything from cat food to cleaning supplies to office supplies. There's such a wide variety. We have a wish list on our website, and we have one right at the shelter if anybody was interested. Just a bottle of bleach it can make all the difference.
You must go through a lot of bleach.
Oh, yes.
You must.
I think that would have been my mom's donation.
Yeah.
A bottle of bleach.
Yeah,
God,
bleach.
she loves to keep things clean.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Another question, Jen, and I would assume another way that people can help, of course, is if they are interested in adopting.
Exactly.
We should point out, although we've got the kitties running around the set today, you guys also have dogs, right? So
Yeah, I was
if
gonna
I want to
say,
adopt a cat or a dog, just tell our viewers a little bit about what that process is.
So fairly easy process. You can do it right in person, or you can do it online through our website, spcamiramichi.com. So there's an application form you download. You can fill it out and email it back, or just do it right at the shelter. Real easy, takes a few minutes, and it's just trying to match the person with an animal, that suits their lifestyle.
That's appropriate.
Yeah, so we don't match something that's really, really hyper to somebody that like as a senior that would like somebody quiet for companionship.
How many dogs do you have on site? You have 60 cats. How many dogs?
We can only hold 6 dogs at
Okay.
any given time,
Okay.
and our local animal control, Tony LeBlanc, really helps us out there. So we have a great partnership there. But yeah, it's a quick process to adopt. You have to sign a contract, and that basically is for the safety of the animal. If you ever have to give them up down the road, we just want them to come back to us so we can keep track and just know that they're in good homes and that they're not just living on the street somewhere. Adoption fees differ depending on what you're looking for. Our dogs run $175, but they're spayed, they're neutered, they're vaccinated, microchipped, everything.
Wow.
So everything's done for that cost. It might sound like a lot at first, but you're in fact saving bundles of money. And then we put a special on for our senior cats, our long-term resident cats, special needs cats. Their adoption fees drop, so it's a little extra incentive to find them homes.
We adopted a dog from the Moncton SPCA about 6 or so years ago, and he was a senior dog. He was 9 when we got him, and Dad took him home, and he was the best dog. He was a Lab Dalmatian mix, and he was fully trained and just he and Dad's energy level matched perfectly.
Yeah.
They went running every morning, 10K every morning. So we just lost him a couple of weeks ago. He passed away, but you know, truly, he was probably Dad's best friend. I think Dad liked him more than he liked me, but that's okay. I love Dad. It's okay. But you know, and that I was telling Adam earlier. I had never had a pet. When I was young, we had a cat for about a month, and I didn't you know, I don't even remember him. He was older, and he went with the house that we were renting. And so we had never had pets, and then all of a sudden I brought my little doggy home, and then Dad came home from Africa and decided, we found Labda in Moncton and brought him home. And you know, now I can't imagine my life without a pet. Or you know, and I'm not yet a cat person, although these two little ones are.
Tugging
They're
at the
pretty cute.
heartstrings
Yeah,
a
they're
little.
pretty cute. They're pretty cute. I might have to fight Evan for Inky, but but you know, so really, it's just taking a few minutes to come down and meet the animal, because that was the big thing. Dad, you know, spent some time with Labda before we took him home, and they played in the room, and they went for a walk up and down the street together, and spent a little bit of time together, so they knew that they were compatible.
Yeah,
Well, and you
exactly.
know, it's an interesting point because you know, Evan keeps his tabs on the Facebook page. But one thing we should mention to people is, of course, you can come down and get to know
Absolutely.
all the animals, and when you get there, you might think you're coming to pick up one kitten or one animal,
Yeah.
and then you may get there and develop a connection with someone else,
Yeah,
or
that's
you know,
it.
another animal. And also, I think, Jen, you guys, you know, you are open to people who might want to volunteer
Definitely.
to come and play with the cats or help keep things clean, and
Walk the
so there
dogs.
are
Yeah.
volunteer opportunities
Well,
as
that's
well,
it.
right?
We're always accepting volunteers, whether you want to help us clean or walk a dog or just sit and play with the cats. It's so rewarding for them to have human interaction when we're busy cleaning and we're busy doing that kind of stuff. So we need people that don't mind coming and playing with them and entertaining them for a while.
Do you have other animals besides cats and dogs?
We actually have 2 rabbits and 1 rat.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
One rat.
little Rufus
One
the
rat.
rat.
Rufus.
Yeah.
We got a couple of those, and no,
I know.
I digress. Jen, I just have to take a moment to brag about Jen in the SPCA,
Yeah.
because we were there. It was a few weeks ago. We stopped by, and there was a lovely young lady working there. I don't know if she was a staff or a volunteer, but she was so attentive and caring to all these animals. It was clear that there was a passion for her. The place was spotless. Like it just, you guys are doing such an amazing job running this shelter. And Jen, I happen to know Jen personally. we sit on the Change Miramichi board together, which is, you know, 6 charities locally. Camp Sheldrake's part of that as well.
Absolutely.
And so I can tell that Jen is so passionate,
Yeah.
and you know, she just cares about finding these animals home and making sure that this shelter is kept up, you know, well run. And so I can't say enough about what you guys are doing and how well you're doing it.
Thank you.
And you know, this is one of those moments where, as Miramichiers,
Yeah.
you know, we got to rally behind you guys, because it's a real community service too.
Oh.
I've got to ask Jen. We had a road trip one day for Change Miramichi,
Miramichi.
and Jen was telling me about some of the other things they do. And there are community programs, and we got to talk about TNR, and that's one of the programs that they offer that really, you know, helps control the feral cat population as well.
I'm just going to give a shout out to Gordon, who's cuddling with Inky. We just had him on screen there a couple of minutes ago, so he was having a bonding moment with Inky over there. And you know what?
Stacy, where's the handheld?
It's so easy to love these animals. They're just looking for love, right?
That's it. They don't ask for much.
No, isn't that amazing? Eh? And Inky's loving it over there, I can tell. But anyway, so tell us about TNR.
Yeah, so our TNR, we're actually not doing a whole lot with that right at the moment because funds are so low that it's just not.
But this is why it's important for people.
Well, that's it. That's something that is desperately needed in this community. And TNR, for anyone who doesn't know,
tell me what TNR is.
yeah, TNR is trap, neuter, release. So you pick up the stray cats that are around, and they're not just the strays; they're the ferals. So the true ones that were born outside, have never had human interaction. So chances of rehabilitation into a home are pretty slim unless you get them as babies.
Yeah.
So in that case, the best thing we can do for them is capture them in a live trap, a humane trap, have them spayed, neutered. Their ear is tipped, so we know that they're fixed, so the top of the ear is taken off.
Okay.
And then they're released back into the area where they were picked up. So that way, at least it helps curb the population,
Okay.
cut
Wow.
down on.
That must be an incredible amount of work.
It is. It's a lot of work, big expense, of course. So yeah, we've done some in the past, and we hope to do more again when our budget becomes a little more stable.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
we want to give a shout out though to Maury's Mini Putt
Oh yes.
on the weekend.
Yes.
So I don't know how many years they've been doing this fundraiser. I know a couple at least. eh?
Six years
That's
now, I
amazing.
think. Yeah.
So they did a putt and ice cream fundraiser, and it was cool on
Yeah.
Saturday, but they raised over $2,200.
That's it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how people come out and support these events. And the same day that happened, I was actually at the Chatham 75th reunion
Oh, okay.
for, and we had a barbecue there too, and
Wow.
raised another few $100s. So
Wow.
every penny counts.
Yeah.
Every penny counts, and there's so many wonderful people in this city that hold these fundraisers and help us out any way they can, and it means the world to us.
Yeah, I'm sure. So I just want to highlight a couple of ways to help you. So we're talking about donations in cash,
Yep.
which will help, of course, with the vet bills
Exactly.
and to keep you guys running and doing all your programs that you have. You're very welcome and open to taking in donations of things, so like supplies and all that kind of stuff. So tell us how to get a hold of you, so that for our people at home, everyone who's watching around
For
the
sure.
province,
Yes.
tell us how to get a hold of you so that they can help.
The phone number at the shelter is 622-0645. You can find us on Facebook. You can also find us at spcamiramichi.com. There's so many different ways you can help. So you can mail a check. You can stop in and donate. We work through PayPal.
I know Candace Sherrard right now is doing a
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah,
That's it. Like there's so many different things you can do. You can get anything off our wish list and send it to us. Attend any one of the many events, or start a fundraiser of your own. We'd be happy to help you, and
or adopt a pet.
or adopt a pet. Taking one in your home. If you can't adopt, maybe you can foster.
Okay,
So-
tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about the foster
so
program.
fostering, what we typically send out into foster is mums and babies. The babies aren't quite old enough to be adopted, so they have to go out till they're 8 weeks old. So you just bring them into your home and basically care for them until they're of age to be adopted. We provide anything that you might need.
Wow.
And you just give them the space and the love.
Okay.
Easy.
I don't know, fostering. Wow.
Easy.
Well, and I think you had mentioned to me, Jen, this is maybe a great way to figure out the type of pet that you might be interested in, right?
Well, that's it. Yeah, if you've never owned a pet or you're not sure of what you might want, it's a good way of trying it out. And to be honest, a lot of our fosters are known as foster fails. They keep the animal when they're done.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So that's known as.
And I could see that happening,
Yeah.
to be honest, because I don't know if I took a wonderful little animal like I've seen running around here home with me for a little bit. I don't know I could give them up.
Well,
And that's what we hope
You're
for.
hoping, right? Well, I know we just have a few minutes left, and while let's bring him back in.
Come here, Inky. Come on.
We
honey.
should, with Jen here, touch on an exciting fundraising initiative that the SPCA is a part of through Change Miramichi, and that is Escape Miramichi.
Oh, yes.
Miramichi.
Which is a really, really exciting project. Effectively, it's a fundraising social enterprise, so to speak, and we're going to be trying it out.
Quick, because we only have 30 seconds.
Oh my
left.
gosh.
Okay, opens July 21st, 622-0700 to book your appointment. We lock you in a room for 60 seconds. You got to
60 for an hour.
For an hour,
Yeah.
and you got to solve the puzzles and get out.
And these rooms are blowing up everywhere,
Yes.
and they're bringing two
Very
exciting
popular.
escape room experiences here. One is an Alice in Wonderland themed room, and the other is a murder mystery.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Support both of those incredible initiatives. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon. Hey, Inky.
That wasn't so bad, was it, Inky?